everybody, it's me, your friendly neighborhood, and today we're going to be taking a look at the SV Sentinel toys, Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse. You know, that little animated movie that every Spider-Man fan knows and loves. Now, I don't want to drone on and on about how much I enjoyed Spider-Verse, but the best Spider-Man movies to date, well, next to No Way Home and Spider-Man 2, but come on, man. It's got heart, soul, characters that you care about, and not only does it pay homage to previous versions of Spider-Man, and little references and Easter eggs scout all about the film, it also gives Miles his own story to stand out from just being the Black Spider-Man. And shows us that anyone can wear the mask. That's why he wears a full XX costume, and we can project ourselves into Spider-Man. But this isn't an in-depth review of the movie, there are plenty of those on YouTube. We're here to talk about this figure. And on the topic of this figure, this is the most accurate version of this costume to date. I know I may be going on a limb here, but this, in my opinion, is the most accurate version of the suit brought to life in figure form. I've seen the Mayflex version, and quite personally, I'm not a big fan of how underfed he looks. Some may be inclined to say he looks like that in the movie, but I don't know. I just rewatched the movie, and I feel like he had a bit more meat on his bones than what the Mayflex figure portrays. And I really don't like how frail it looks in comparison to the nice, solid foundation that the Sentinel Toys figure presents us with. And with that foundation comes with a nice matte finish and a nicely sculpted in suit pattern that's present throughout the entire figure. At first I thought it was just on this part, but nope. It is everywhere. I know my camera may not be picking it up very well, but you guys can plainly see it. Not to mention the fact that the web lines are not only sculpted in, but they're painted in with a very non-intrusive gray. Eat that, bitch! I also want to go on record and say that this suit, in my opinion, is the best version of the classic Miles Morales suit. I really hope they don't fuck it up. Also point out, while the eyes are actually sculpted to be 3D, which is not how it looks in the movie, the added bonus of having that inner blue line that's inside the mask outline that he has in the movie. Eat that, bitch! The paint apps are so clean, it just feels like a sin to have my grubby little monkey paws all over. Though the only negative I will point out is his neck. I've seen a lot of people talk about that it's too short, but personally I haven't had a big issue with it. Now, compared to the fucking Revoltech Yamaguchi Spider-Man, whose neck is way too fucking long, I can see the argument where people say Miles' neck for this figure is too short. Now, I am aware there's a ball peg fix for this, but one, I'm too poor to afford that, and, you know, I'm not too bothered by the neck, and you'll see why later on in the review. I think that's all there is left to be said about this figure, and you know what that means. It's time to get into his accessories! God, I regret doing that. Now, this figure comes with a shit ton of accessories, as all Spider-Man figures should do. But we're going to kind of chop them into kind of categories, because some of which of these items are pretty miscellaneous. Now, with that out of the way, this figure comes with two alternate heads. One being a masked head with a quizzical expression, the other being a fully unmasked Miles head. Looking at the neck more closely, it doesn't look as bad as I originally thought. But on the topic of these, the unmasked Miles head looks like it's absolutely full of expression, and it looks like it's the most accurate rendition to his face come to life. Moving on to his hands, he comes with a pair of fists, relaxed hands, open hands, wall-crawling hands, slightly open fist that accommodate a grab effect that I'll talk about later, a slightly open hand to hold his phone that he comes with, a right hand that's attached to a spray can, and two whipping hands that disappointingly have the web effects glued onto them. Myself and many others have tried to, but no, you cannot take the web effects out. Which kinda sucks. What if I wanted to pose him without the web effects? You kinda robbed me of that option, Sentinel. Now let's get to his miscellaneous accessory. He comes with a singular web accessory which is painted and sculpted very well, and stop me if I'm wrong, it appears to be somewhat translucent. He also has the hammer that Spider-Ham gives him towards the end of the movie, but he never uses it. Who knows, maybe he'll make a return at just Spider-Verse. To get that into his grabbing hand, you could unpeg the head from the base, slide it into the hand, and plug it back, and BAM! Miles is ready to turn you into a slapstick joke. He also comes to a stand that you have to assemble out of the box that contains a claw and 3 hinge joints. At first it was pretty confusing on how to do it, but I figured it out. You could even slide the base back and forth. Alright, he also comes with a pair of headphones that are only compatible with the masked head. let me see something. Maybe if I... Yeah, they only included a pair that was compatible with the masthead. I don't know why they didn't think of including one that could go on the unmasked head. But hey, maybe the plastic budget was already so high, so I mean, I'm not gonna bitch about it. Now, I've been postponing the inevitable for quite a while now, but I think it's time we get into the last part of the accessory package. His alternate form. He comes with a pair of shorts, a flowing jacket, 2 separate hood pieces, 2 alternate arms, and his kicks from the movie that sadly aren't Nike brands. It probably would have cost a fortune for the rights. He also has a separate shoelace effect for each shoe for some reason, since in the movie it was a bit of a detail that his shoes were often untied, leading into a bit of an accident. But anyway, let's kick on that royalty-free music and get him into his alternate form.
The very thought of you feels like fantasy. Close my eyes, you remain close to me. When you're in my arms, my sorrow disappears. Truth I know is what you wanna hear. You'll find I'm glad to say that love has dispersed from my mind through my soul to my heart. It is very clear, I'll always need you here, ember of a fire that'll start. And the summer days, they will fade away, ever in my memory. No empty space since you claimed your place with me.
Thanks, Jobby. For those watching, please comment if you want to hear me do a cover of that song to use in my own videos. Anyway, and here we have the... I don't know what to call this, so I'm calling it the casual suit. Now, for the movie, he mostly dons this attire during the beginning, but he's wearing his dollar store costume underneath most of the time. And when he finally does use this style, it's for one scene, and then we never see it again. This design has literally been slathered all over the promotional material for Into the Spider-Verse. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for it.
You need to leave!
Alright, chill out, let me explain myself. Said I don't care too much for this design, not that I hate it. It's a really cool design, but it also sacrifices some practicality in terms of convenience and combat. Remember what happened to Ben Reilly when he was wearing a hoodie? Yeah, he nearly got choked out by it, and afterwards he rips the hood off so he never happens again. I'm seeing way too many Spider-Sona designs that overlook this crucial design flaw. If you really look at it, serves more as a liability in exchange for some style points. Don't get me wrong, the designs are still cool and all, but hood or a cape, it's kind of a detriment to the character's well-being. People like Superman can get away with it because they're super durable, or the cape has other functionalities to aid in traversal combat like Batman. But I'm pretty sure the hood on Spider-Gwen serves no purpose other than to not look as goofy when her hood is down. What I'm trying to say is, stop putting hoods on Spider-Man characters unless they're out casually and not fighting bad guys. Anyways, on top of the hoods, as I mentioned before, that Miles has 2 hood pieces. One designed to be down, and one to be more of a flowing hood. Either one can plug into the back of the jacket very snugly, so I don't have to worry about it falling out or untabbing pretty easily. And this surprisingly keeps a lot of the articulation from the base figure integrated into these parts. If anything, I think these shorts are a lot more posable than his base legs. That's actually funny when you think about it. Now, I know I said posability, but chill, we're not there yet. We'll point out the jacket is made out of a really hard plastic, and since it's permanently stuck in a flowing position, you can't really get Miles's arms down, which is kind of annoying if you want to stand him in a normal vanilla pose. But hey, no big deal. And as I mentioned before, the shoelaces can plug into the shoes, but to be honest, they're there for more aesthetic purposes, so I just keep those stored, honestly. Now with that out of the way, yeah, you guys know what time it is. His heck can move up all the way like that, move down, and since his head and neck are both on ball joints, you get a swoop. Arms on a ball joint so you can get a 360 rotation. Bicep swivel. Got a double bend at the elbow. You also get a wrist swivel here. Sadly, there's no other articulation for the wrist. The body is just about built on diaphragm ball joints. So that means the upper body can move side to side. Lower body can move side to side. And ball joints automatically mean you get a gut. And like I mentioned, with the pop, the waist also has a ball joint, so that means you can get a limited swivel, though it's more or less just more for side to side tilt. Like he can, man, this guy can, he's a lot more flexible than I am. Jesus fucking. And with that combined, he gets a pretty decent crunch and a pretty good arc. Ball joint at the hip that allows the leg to move up that far. You can kind of move back this far, but you kind of have to twist him to the side to do that. His legs can perform the ill-fitted nutcracker. On the topic of waist articulation, the shorts actually give a lot more range of motion than I was expecting. He kind of gets a... Not only can he still perform a way better splits than his base form, he also has a kind of chicken joint right here, which I'm pretty sure is a ball joint, so that means the ball joint is a... Since I'm too lazy to take the pants off and put him back in his base form, double bend at the knee. For some reason, they allow him to do this. Legs don't work like that. They need to stop doing knees like that. When I tested the other knee, I accidentally popped the kneecap off. Luckily, I was able to replace it and put a little bit of that magic flex seal on it so it won't pop out again. But hey, note to future figure designers everywhere, please do not design your knee joints like this. And if you are, make sure the kneecaps can handle it, foot can move up and all the way down. You get a toe bend and a beautiful ankle pivot. And let's not forget about the ankle swoop. Posability for this guy is absolutely off the charts. Honestly, the only issue I have is that they took away the options for wrist articulation with a ball joint peg, like most import figures I own, because let's be honest, a swivel can only get you so far. But I guess Sentinel realized that and angled the hands where they would look proper in certain poses. Well, except for the web shooting hands, I have to angle down the elbow down so it can look straight if he's shooting it straight. So, Sentinel buddy, if you had the wherewithal to do this, then why not at least give the hands a fucking hinge joint? Luckily, they seem to have learned from that mistake because the Sentinel Toys Peter B. Parker seems to have rectified this minor qual that I was not able to pre-order. Hey, maybe I'll get lucky and somebody could get it for me on my birthday. Hint, hint. Now, due to my last review, you'd probably think I'm not a very big fan of the smaller figures, but that's quite the contrary. The only reason why it was such a negative for the Revoltech Spider-Man 3 is the fact that Toby's Spider-Man figures are usually taller than 5 inches. Depending on who you fucking ask. He actually scales pretty well with the Marvel Legends Infinity Saga Iron Man, Marvel Legends Venom, Spider-Man 2 Superposable Spider-Man, Marvel Legends The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This is where I'd put my Tom Holland figure, if I fucking had one. In the last review I did, the sci-fi Revoltech Spider-Man. And as for another Miles Morales comparison, here he is next to the Marvel Legends Ultimate and Into the Spider-Verse Miles Morales. I'm gonna be honest, this figure makes the others look like fucking chumps.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
My conclusion? This figure is absolutely amazing. Honestly, the lack of wrist articulation is what's keeping this figure from being a perfect score. Well, that and the fact that we don't get any really cool effect parts for his bioelectricity abilities. And kind of understand why, since he rarely uses them in the movie. But come on, it was the finishing blow to Kingpin. And also due to lack of web effect parts for the variety, and Thorping hands having the web effect parts glued to them, kinda sucks. But this figure is way better than the Mafex version. I can completely understand why people are calling this the Mafex killer. Better quality control too. Now, this figure is actually a GameStop exclusive, and they just restocked their figures, and they're already fucking sold. God damn it. I wish I could say I got this figure from GameStop, but I didn't. I got it off of Macari. So just be careful and always go for the lowest price. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.